Okay, so I want to welcome everybody to Behind the Herb on All.com 420. I am sitting here with some lovely ladies of cannabis. My name is Dria B, and I'm going to pass the mic to each one of you and let you guys introduce yourself, and then we can kind of get into some casual conversations. So, Tammy, why don't you start it off?
Hello, everyone. My name is Tammy, aka the Cannabis Cutie. I am a cannabis educator and expert in the space. You might have also seen me on Herb, where I host FAQs and Unbox series, and I'm on tons of other channels, but basically my whole purpose of being in this cannabis industry is to help destigmatize the plant the best that I can, and basically free the plant so we can free the people.
I love it. All right, Tyler, you want to give your intro?
What's poppin', mother puffas? You know who it is. It's me, Tyler Therapy. I also go by Bad Mother Puffa. You can catch me puffin' tough on the gram, on YouTube, on the WeedTube, on TikTok. You can puff with me there. But yes, my whole purpose is to shed light on Black women and Black people in the cannabis space, to uplift Black people in the space, and to show that we are here. We always been here. It started off the backs of the Black and the brown. And I want to make sure that we are seen in the mainstream cannabis space. So not only that, but I advocate for mothers as well who medicate with cannabis at all stages of motherhood. So, Canamom OG, yeah, you know me.
I love it. We're going to get more into that too, but we have one more guest, Miss May Stone.
Hey y'all, what's going on? It's May Stone. I am an actor, I'm a stand-up comedian, I'm a writer out here in Los Angeles. I'm originally from Dallas, and I grew up just not even, it's a stigma out there, and you can actually just go to prison for that shit for years. And so I'm very grateful to be in this space and to be able to discuss what it's like a Black woman from the South, being Black, Southern, and queer, and discussing cannabis and the different ways that we use it as well. So cannabis has at this point been in every piece of my work, and I love that so much. So y'all can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, on Instagram at Maystone with 2 T's.
I love it. Well, I think you all kind of hit on it a little bit, but we're going to delve deeper because we are women of color. We all are in cannabis. And it's an important conversation to have, but I think we got to roll it back a little bit, and y'all can take turns however you want. But kind of, where did you guys start in cannabis, and fast forward into where you guys are now in cannabis, in terms of the conversations you're having or the work that you're doing as women of color in this space?
Well, I started out as a bud tender in this space back in 2013. I was, a consumer at first. So I was just like, man, this is what I love to do. Let me try and find a job in this space. So I went and ventured out to be a bud tender. I gained a lot of knowledge in the space that way: product knowledge, dispensary knowledge, corporate knowledge. And, it was the first time that I really experienced discrimination in the space. And so I was like kind of weary about it. I was like, what's going on? Like, how come I can't be myself? How come I can't move up in these spaces? I can't elevate, because they don't want to see us elevate. They don't want Black people to come up on top. They don't want Black women to come up on top. They don't want women in general to come up on top in those spaces where it's male driven. So I was like, okay, how can I venture out and still do what I love, be involved in what I love to do, and still just be me, because I'm an actress as well, and I come from that background. So I moved on from being a bud tender, a manager, a delivery owner, a grower, to actually taking all of that knowledge and then my talents, channeling all of that into content creation, which is where you see me now. And, I do promo for a lot of different brands and companies. And then that also struck me by surprise when I started to see that discrimination is everywhere and it's just not going to stop. And so when I noticed that, when there was promoters and influencers out there in this space they didn't look like me at all. And everything was given to white creators without, and like their content was just like, I wasn't gaining anything from it. I wasn't being educated. I wasn't having fun really watching it. I was just like, all they're doing is smoking. They may be cute, or they may just be smoking a lot. It was either like, you're just looking cute, or it's just overconsumption videos. And I felt like those were not really like the messages that influencers, especially for cannabis influencers, which we don't want to be like, oh, we're just influencing you to smoke. No, we want to teach people about the plant. We want to teach people the benefits of the plant. We want to show where it derives from, which is our people, you know what I'm saying? So I felt like it was very important for me to put my face out there, because I was just tired of seeing, I just didn't really like what I was seeing. So I'm like, I'm going to be the change that I want to see in the space. And it starts by taking that step, letting go of fear and putting yourself out there. And I just put myself out there completely, especially after the birth of my son. Cannabis helped me tremendously during pregnancy. It helped me tremendously after pregnancy. And I almost lost my life during that delivery. So I just was like, okay, if I'm going to go into anything, it's like full-fledged now. You know what I'm saying? So I went hard. Right. And I just poured like all of me. I poured all of my talents. I poured my music. I poured my acting, and just like, my graphic designing, like just all of me into what I do as far as content creation. And that kind of like, it finally just started, booming at a point, and people started to recognize that. And they're like, oh, she's doing something way different than all these people that are just being put in our faces. And so when it came to like, then reaching out to the companies and putting it more on a mainstream level, where you see Black people now using these products, and now Black people can start spending their dollars with you. You know what I'm saying? Because no pages were featuring Black people on there as models, as influencers, as content creators, nobody. So, but then like, I was just realizing, just step by step, it's still discrimination to this shit. Like, they wouldn't pay Black creators. Then I had to like, I was just finding things out. I'm like, why am I not getting paid? Why am I doing stuff for free?
It's so hard to pay you.
I'm sorry, what?
I said, yeah, it's so hard to get these people to pay you.
Yeah, it is. It is. And Mayna Stone, so she was like, it was just really one of those things where I had to really be vocal about it. I put my truth out to my audience, you know what I'm saying? So that became a thing. I think it got around to the point where companies were starting to realize, oh, this girl be putting people on blast because we don't pay people. And then it actually started to make changes though. And, then they're starting to put Black women, being seen and all that stuff. And maybe they won't choose me, but it took me to have to say something to make a change. And that's just basically all that I'm doing now. I don't want to take up too much of the space of the time, but I'm just really focused on making sure that Black women are seen, heard, mothers are seen, heard, mothers are looked down upon if they smoke, like they can't be a good mother to their child. And I just want to break the stigma in all aspects, in all angles. And we here, all these beautiful women on the screen right now, we're here in front of you, we're doing it. And that's all I hope for. And that I'm just glad to be here. I'm glad to be here amongst you women as well. So keep on.
But you bring up a good point though, when it comes to the whole like getting paid or not paid. It's like the fact that you even had to say anything just to like get $1 when it's being just given to everyone else it's ridiculous. It's insane. But I want to rewind back to the education part, because Tammy, I know that's your space. That is where you thrive in. So can you walk us through, I guess, kind of your background in that, but also what that means in terms of women in cannabis and the educational part, and how you own that kind of lane?
So for me, my beginning in the cannabis industry started when I began smoking it. My first experience didn't match what Larry the Lion taught me in the DARE program. It was completely opposite.
Right.
So for me at Oklahoma State and living in Oklahoma, I was converting lots of people to cannabis. And then I did the same thing as a married woman, and my ex-husband and his co-workers and their wives, and my neighbors. And then I went to grad school, and my professors and the people in my class. So I knew going into grad school, coming out, I was going to be in this industry. I just didn't know what, couldn't figure out how. I decided the best way to figure out what it is that I wanted to do was to learn about the plant and the industry. And so when learning about the plant, I was able to understand it, but it took a little bit longer because it was all in science jargon. And that's very complex information. I have 2 science degrees, so it wasn't too difficult, but it made me think about people who don't have science degrees.
Like us.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right.
So I learned the science, and I was able to explain it in a way that was super easy. And then I finally just decided I was going to make videos and create an Instagram. And I meditated on it, and I heard the Cannabis Cutie as clear as day. And that was the name that I decided. And I just, prayed about it and wrote down that I just want to be able to help change people. Like, I don't care about anything else but that. And I put my heart into it. And here I am, not even 3 years fully into it. And it's been wildly successful. Through what I've just been doing and been my authentic self, I've attracted brands who let me use their platforms like Herb. I had the CEO of Herb call me and let me know that they were fans. And can you please do this for our audiences? Which, spirals into now I'm acting and I'm hosting and I'm producing shows around cannabis. So all of it, I had no plan. I just knew that I was a really effective communicator, and I left it to that, to God, and kind of just naturally done its own thing without me kind of forcing my way and doing something that doesn't make me happy. I think that's kind of the biggest thing in this industry. You have to do something that you're passionate about, or you'll burn out. I see influencers who create amazing content, but at some point they're not going to want to do this anymore because you can see that they're unfulfilled. So that's the best advice. Figure out what fulfills you. For me, I love to teach. There's no teachers in this. So that's kind of my advice there too.
Mm-hmm. And that's what attracted me to you too. Like I've been following her for a very long time, and
followers.
Yeah, and she's just amazing. I just saw her doing something totally different, and that was like the same wavelength I was on. I'm like, whoa, she's bringing facts and education, and she's beautiful. But that's not like, of course, you're the Cannabis Cutie, but we're not like. You know what I'm saying? Even though you're so damn beautiful, but it's the beauty that was coming out your mouth. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I was like just so drawn to that. And I just appreciate your presence as well in this space for that. And yeah, your passion for it. We have to be passionate about it, because I've seen the same. You burn out. Even myself, like as an influencer side, but I'm so many other things too. You know what I'm saying? I'm an advocate, I'm an activist. So it's like other things like ground me. But when I do the influencer stuff, I can see like that whole realm of things is not where I need to really sit in, because it will keep you in a box. Yeah. And I'm not, I feel like our message is way bigger, is way grander. It's like on the grand scheme of things. It's not just so like one thing, like one-sided. I don't know. So I just wanted to say that too, because man, Tammy, she's been doing the damn thing. And I just
pour the effort into teaching, because I think a lot of folks, they don't teach, but they also don't even know where to start either. So you kind of really have to start at the beginning. And thankfully, you said you have your science degree, so you know how to make it a little bit more clear and concise for people and conversational and stuff, so that we can all have a better understanding. Because I'm also noticing that there are more older people who are now experiencing with cannabis, and even with my family who are in their 50s, 60s, 70s. I even have a family member who is in her 90s who uses cannabis. And she's out in Texas, so it is a little bit more of like a hemp-derived cannabis. But I mean, it's something that I never even thought I would see or hear before. And I think it's really beautiful to have somebody who's able to just like reach back with their knowledge and teach people about what we're using why we need to use it, you know, and for specific ailments. So that's really important.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate
But I think all of our platforms are all of that, though. And I think that's important too, to note that we had, like, while it's fun to have the stoner culture and all these other elements within our space, like, I feel like we as women can own that space of like pushing this conversation forward beyond just the typical stereotypical audience that we tend to get boxed into based on what's happening in pop culture or whatever else. And I feel like each in our individual lanes, we're able to do that. Because I agree with you, Tyler, early on when you're talking about content and not being able to relate to all of it that was happening prior to recently. I felt the same way. I felt like, is this even the space for me? Even though I do enjoy the plant, I enjoy it for both, you know, recreational and for, you know, ailments and things like that. But I felt like the content wasn't reflective of that, that I was seeing.
Yeah, and the thing too about like kind of what drew me to Mae Stone, I felt like she had a professionalism about her too that like drew me. I'm like, okay, nobody really is on this type of level in this space. You know what I'm saying? She's an actress, she's a host. It was more like my lane of people, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, I've been following her for a long time too, y'all. So I'm just like, it just excites me to be in rooms like this with people who know kind of, they knew what they were kind of doing like before, just because they were confident and secure within themselves first before they stepped into the space. And then, so like when I saw Mae Stone's page, I was like, okay, boom, she's an actress. She brings like a more like mainstream, but not, you know what I'm saying? It's like commercial, but not like, nobody was touching on this. You know what I'm saying? It was just too.
But speak on that, May, because like that's an important point, like in the entertainment space and things like that. Like speak on like your journey through that, because I'm in the media side of things. So like that's where my realm and my intersection into cannabis is. But coming from the entertainment side and the media side, like you can speak to that because it's
always something that I've always wanted to be a part of. I started off actually from a hard news background. I was a TV news reporter, so that's where that comes from. So I was actually out in it. It was a small town, but there was still a population of 100,000. So just at the in my early 20s, just straight out of college, damn near, I was already just working in media in that way. And so I was used to pumping out content or stories every single day, and it was 5 different types of it. So I had to be ready for like the 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m., and the 10 p.m. news. So, you know, that helps me just learn how to write, rewrite, edit copy. And I kind of was able to use that more towards finding, when I came out here, I also was a copywriter for some time. So that helps me hone my skills in, product knowledge and like brand awareness and stuff like that. Right. And that's what a lot of companies out here need, a lot of the cannabis companies, but they don't really know where to turn to. They don't know where to spend their money. And they have a diversity issue still. Like a lot of cannabis companies are trying, right? But I was just talking with my friend earlier. I said, well, you know, it's how, you know, how affirmative action, it was supposed to help Black people, but white women benefit more from affirmative action. I said, it kind of feels something along this line as well. Is like, well, they think that they're becoming more diverse because we're not seeing as many men, but yes, there's women there, but they're white women. And it's like, they don't really want to bring on Black women. They don't really a lot of cannabis companies still have a very hard time coming to terms with how to support Indigenous people. It's like, you're really growing this land, and like, you don't even have anything that is gonna reach back and help Black folks reintegrate back into society after they've been in prison for cannabis. You don't have anything that you're gonna reach out to help Indigenous folks when you're still growing on their land. You know what I'm saying? So I always, within all of my work, to call attention to that. I'm currently writing myself for a show, and I'm producing. And so I'm very nervous about it, but I think it's going to be such an enlightening moment too, because I want to be able to bring about like a different side of Black women that we don't get to see, like what Tyler touched on. These images that we'd always seen in America were of Black women who, you know, don't care about themselves. They don't take care of their family when they smoke cannabis, or the man who's, you know, a deadbeat. And it's just like, that's just not true, because look at us, you know, and we're business women and we get shit done. You know, we are amazing mothers. You know, we know how to write, how to produce, how to reach out to an audience. We know how to act. We know how to dance and sing. You know what I mean? So I'm nervous, just bringing about my image in that way. But I'm like, if I'm going to have to be the change that I want to see. And so I'm for this opportunity as well.
No, for sure. I mean, me and Tammy are on the same wave when it comes to the producing side and things like that. And like, she's been integrated into shows, and I'm out here in Vegas being integrated too. But it's true, you don't see enough representation, and that's across the board. That's not, I mean, specifically in cannabis, but in general. But I think, like, rolling back, how do you guys feel in terms of where the brands stand now? Because I feel like when I look at brands, I feel like they ping us when they feel like it'll amplify what they're doing at that moment. Yeah. And then I feel like then they back off the rest of the year. We don't see no money from them. We don't see,
I know this just firsthand because, like I said, I do a lot of promo for different companies and brands and stuff. And I just feel like they use us when it's convenient. They use us when they need a diversity percentage. And what's sad is, especially with Black women, they can't have one or two, like they can't have more than two. It's like they always have to have one, or they have to have two, but three is the crowd. And that's just like, I don't like that, because it's like there's so many representations of Black people. First of all, we come in all different shades. Okay. So then, we're coming in all different types of everything. Like, we all got different types of hair, different types of just upbringing, so there's going to be some Black women or just Black people in general who, like, I can choose and relate to more than the other, but we're still all Black though. So all representation, like any representation is good. However, we need all of the representation. You know what I'm saying? And so when you just stop at one or two and you're like, okay, we reached the quota, that's a little too much. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It doesn't really elevate our community, as Black and brown people. You know what I'm saying? It does put us in the spot, yeah. But then, like, where does the community grow? It's really probably that one person or that one or two people. Also, that I noticed on pages, especially when Black Lives Matter movement was really strong and heavy, it was like a slew of Black people and BLM this and BLM in the bio and this and that. And then, like, the new year happened and all that really died down. The people who was around the campaigns died down supporting Black people. I got a whole bunch of unfollows. Y'all bandwagon followed me during BLM movement, and then you unfollowed me.
Account managers, media managers, they unfollowed the fuck out of us.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's like they use us when it's convenient. They use us when they need us. But once that's over, it's like, okay, we'll probably revisit you back in the summertime, and that's that. But, like, I don't know. I deal with this so much to where it's so tiresome. I can't, like, I feel like I'll get even hostile in here, and then they'll be like, she's an angry Black woman. So, but I will like,
it's valid. I will say too, especially coming up, like, for Black women and Black folks, we have Black History Month, we have Women's History Month, we have Juneteenth. But a lot of companies, they just want to pay us in product, and it's just like, I can't pay my rent with your vape pen, bro. So it's like, you come up off that money. You really absolutely do. Don't talk to me about diversity and equity and inclusion, but you're not including no money with this. So I don't want a 24 pack of nothing. I would like you to send me $2,400, and maybe we can talk about, like, an ongoing position or something, and we can create a show around your company. But
I mean, go ahead, Tammy, go ahead.
I was going to say, yeah, these companies, absolutely, opportunity like what happened last summer comes around. And then all of a sudden, these brands are reaching out to you that you wished in the past that they would. But yeah, I'm aware you're going to use me, and I'm going to use you too.
Yeah, use them right on.
Sure, 100%.
What's going to happen is you're not going to let me go. And that's what happened. And my purpose here is to spread this gospel. You think you're bringing me on for this little moment, but little do you know, I just need that right one from your audience that also is going to make a difference. So I kind of see it as that way. And sure, you want to pay me in product. I also need you to seat a couple people in my book club I need you to seat some people in my course. These are all beneficial things for your employees. So I'm going to get that money out some way. It's just
some way, somehow.
Got to figure out how to play that game and just understand this is what I'm up against. And I'm just going to know that and move with it. But if they want to be opportunistic with me, I have to be opportunistic with you. That is the moment to really ask for the money.
And that moment is what taught me as well. Like during the BLM movement, when it was going strong, and just, lots of opportunities was coming my way. And I was just like, okay, I'm gonna finesse these opportunities. You know what I'm saying? But also I'm not, you're not about to just like, you're gonna know who you're using at the same time. You know what I'm saying? And then like Tammy said, you're gonna understand why you need someone like me. You're gonna understand why you need to keep someone like me. And it did actually bring on the real ones, you know what I'm saying? And then the long-term partnerships and relationships, they understood. And those are the ones who I appreciate because they're accepting change, they're willing to change, and they are willing to listen to how they how can we change? How can we make a difference? But then, there's just like a lot of other companies I feel who are bigger too in name, and I feel like they make like the bare minimum change, and then people like jump on that like, oh well, they did change.
Well, they just don't want the smoke. That's why they want to do it just enough to not get a smoke.
I don't know. So that part of it, like those things, like do take the enjoyment out of it, and it does make me like just want to stay authentic and true to myself, because I just, for certain things, like I can't puff with it. I have a song called I Can't Puff With That. And a lot of things, like, I just be like, I can't puff with that.
Okay.
No can do, because I just, like, man. And, like, to touch back on what May was talking about earlier, they don't want to pay. And it's just true. They don't want to pay. They don't want to pay us. They don't want to really even give us the respect kind of having a good conversation about how they could pay us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
I've had many conversations where I'm like they're taken aback because I'm asking for payment, and I'm like, but didn't you just pay and
it's
homegirl? Like, I know these influencers, we all talk. You are paying these girls, okay? Why are you paying them and why aren't you paying me? My thing is too, when it comes to like the followers and this and that, like I'm looking at all of you women right here, and you have more, like, I feel like you have more influence on anybody. You know what I'm saying? You can tell somebody something and then they will trust you. They will go with what you say. But then, like, let's say you don't have a big follower count or whatever. And then you got these companies like, oh, well, I can't because your followers, I can't pay you this amount because your followers aren't this. But you still have your whole following will listen to you. Your whole following will follow you. Whereas the other person who maybe have more followers and light, fair skin or whatever, white skin, just say what it is, white passing, it's like, oh, I'm going to just go ahead and give her the campaign, give her the monies, give her this and that. And I know you've heard that we were paying them, but we can only offer you a discount code for your followers. And just like, no, I haven't doing that.
And even like for Tammy or Dria, like what are some of the ways that y'all also let them know that you would rather to be compensated with money? Like, how do you kind of flip that back on them?
Oh, no money, no conversation. There's no flip.
Yeah, 100%.
I have too much to do, and I have people who want to pay me. So
exactly.
And I think too, leveraging up who has there have been times where I've had conversations where I literally put on exactly what brand has paid me and this much. And if you're not even willing to match that, it's just absolutely, I'm not talking to you.
Yeah.
Unless there's a seeding situation, like Tammy said, where I can utilize the product in a different way. Like I can get product for everybody and we do it that way. Okay, I'm going to take one for the team and not be paid like a fee. But other than that, no.
I'm grateful as well to be working with brands that I work with, just a handful of brands. If I'm filming for your brand, it's usually being negotiated through another entity, and that's separate, that's talent fee. But the brands that I do work with, I've established such a beautiful relationship with, been working with over a year. They are content with paying me my worth. And that's just kind of how that's worked out. I've been grateful. I haven't had pretty much anybody that I've worked with, except maybe one company who did not pay me. And they're still sending me, I'm on their PR list, so they still send me stuff. So I'm getting that money, I guess. But yeah, it's also, you can kind of feel who they are and what they want. And you just kind of,
you can feel it. You
don't even make yourself mad, you know, the end.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I don't do anymore either. Like the younger me would like be mad about it, but like now, like just the more experience that I have under my belt, just doing it and experiencing people and dealing with folks, I now know like just how to keep it. It's just all business, and we all know what the puffet is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we know better.
But speaking of,
oh, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, speaking on that too, like how to get the money, like I also feel like when I decided to have a team, like Tammy said, someone else negotiating for the situation, I felt like that was also a change in like, oh, okay, because then they don't know who they're messing with, right? You don't know if you're talking to somebody that could be your CAA agent or your whatever, you know what I mean? So now they're like a little bit more like, okay, I ain't gonna just try her and, you know, not pay nothing because I could be pissing off somebody at a major agency or whatever.
Yeah, that's so true.
Rarely do I negotiate a deal.
Same.
Yeah.
Definitely. I've also learned too, it's like after a while, once it's kind of like with modeling, because what is it out here? Like 175 for 8 hours is the base pay. Once you've already gotten that a few times, it's level up. And so then you don't take anything else that's going to be under 200, nothing else under 250, nothing else under 500, you know? So that's just one of the ways I've
That's kind of how I did it too. Like when I used to be an extra, I used to do a whole bunch of extra work. And so I'm just like, man, these extra little jobs, like even though they was coming in with them, they was paying and they was coming in. And I was like, I'm not taking these 125 jobs, 175 jobs, 200 jobs, no more. I can't. I got to actually audition for some good stuff. Like what is going on? I'm not doing that.
Yeah, and knowing your worth is important too. Like Tyler said, follower count is not even really a conversation anymore.
It's not.
You know, the people that are negotiating for me are now saying she brings way more value than just her followers. You see her, right? Like in 5 years, you're gonna appreciate the decision that you made.
I think also too, Tammy, that comes from like, it's because you are willing to get up out of that chair that you're sitting in, get up out your house. You know what I'm saying? Go network with people. Like it doesn't just all happen online.
No,
you know, we have to get off our ass and actually go make connections, network with people, like get involved with our community. I think that's also why a lot of people on the community side really puff with me in that regard, because like I was out getting people out of their fucking houses, out from behind social media, stop commenting on shit and be a part of it. Actually just be a part of it. Come to my sessions. Let's bring community together. You know what I'm saying? Like make a difference, make a change, meet with these different people. Then I'm meeting with Canna moms and like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, you have to do more than just moving your fingers online and taking pictures and just posting stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like it goes way beyond that. And, you know, that's
the beauty of our community too. Like I also feel like that's one of the most beautiful parts of our community is the fact that like we can come together over this plant and like enjoy it and network and whatever. So I feel like if you're only engaging on the social side, which is to me a small part of it, then I feel like you're not really even engaged in the community.
Yeah, I mean, I moved to California, or I started in cannabis in 2019. I moved here in 2017 and just started in 2019, but I feel like my network is crazy. And it really just came down to going to events where I knew absolutely not a soul.
Nobody.
Okay.
Nobody.
Nobody.
Yeah, and you got to do that. That's just a part of it. It's the groundwork, but it also shows me like, here's the little tug on it. It just shows that Black women and brown women got to do more all the time. We got to do 10 times the work.
We're the most educated demographic. Black women. Yeah. We are the most educated demographic.
Yeah.
It's crazy. We're not the most employed.
Right.
Right. Tell me how that works out.
Rihanna exposed how much we make and how much we're willing to spend when she created a line for Black women and women of color who have different undertones that aren't being represented. And then they saw, oh, Black women spend money, and then everybody came out with the shade for us. No longer Chanel, darkest color at Chanel and Lancome was me. I tried to keep my mom luxury makeup shopping, and they told me to try another store. I was just like, whoa.
Hard for me to match my mom too. She had to wear Fashion Fair forever. Like, it's either that or MAC. What are the NC45 is what they give you.
Right. Yes. Or 42. I'm 42. Yeah, 45. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, you guys, we got a few more minutes left, and I want to give you guys this time to shine because y'all got so much stuff going on, and I think it's important for this audience to hear about it. So just real quickly, tell everybody kind of what you're working on and remind them one more time where they can follow your journey moving forward.
Yes, well, I'll go first, Mother Puffas. You know, I go by Dad Mother Puffa, and right now I'm really, really working on finishing my album. You can go ahead and stream the songs that I do have out under Bad Mother Puffa on all streaming platforms. So that's gonna be my next big project. So keep on puffing with me for that. And you can find out more information just on all of my platforms, on my pages, Tyler Therapy on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube. And Bad Mother Puffa on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. I also am going to be relaunching my merch, Bad Mother Puffa. So y'all can pick up some Bad Mother Puffa merch because we're gonna be Bad Mother Puffas this summer. And yeah,
I need some of that. You guys, you got to share that with us.
Yes, definitely. So keep on puffing with me, and y'all already know you can find me here as well on All Def Cannabis. And I love to be here. Thank you.
Tammy, you want to
go? Okay, word. So yes, and I have my Bad Mother Puffa tank top. I can't wait to wear that this summer. Okay, it's lit. Again, I'm Mason. Y'all can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Maystone with 2 T's. I'm coming out with a lot of content. I've been up very early this morning, so I have a lot of exciting things to show y'all. The girl's been writing, the girl's been acting, the girl's been producing. So I'm getting with my team, and hopefully by the end of this month, I'll definitely have some amazing stuff to show y'all here pretty soon. I'm very nervous and excited. I'm nerve-sighted, but it's a good thing. It's a good problem to have. So yeah. Oh, and I'm also on TikTok at Maystone. I be ticking and talking. That shit is so addicting. I love it so much. Oh my God. But if anybody, so if some of y'all, if y'all want to collaborate, I mean, I'm always open to cannabis companies. If y'all want to send me something for a review for a coint, you can hit up.
Love it. Tammy, go ahead.
Yeah, and my name is Tammy, aka the Cannabis Cutie. That's where you can find me on Instagram. Please make sure you use the word the Cannabis Cutie. The is very important. You also can see me on Herb, where I host Unboxed and FAQs, as well as a live once on their Instagram, once on their Facebook every week. I also have a couple of shows coming, one called Field Trip that you can find on Social Club TV, a show called 106 and Spark, in which I'm starring and producing in, that will be coming this summer as well. I'll be coming out with a show with my girl Dria as well. Documentaries and stuff that are coming on major networks, another cannabis show that'll be on a major network. So merch is also coming. Big year for myself and my company and the women who are rocking with me. You can also find more on my website, thecannabiscutie.com, where I have a blog and tons of resources. And as always, read a book, educate yourself, and teach someone something if you can.
I love it. And I'm official Dria B on all my platforms. Like Tammy said, we got a show in the works that will be coming down the pipeline, so more to come there. And then I got to give a big shout out to All Def Cannabis for having us and hosting this dope conversation. Yeah, they've been amazing. I hope to collaborate with all of you in the future on here and in other networks as well. And I'm going to pass this over to Will to carry on the conversation over with the rest of the All Def audience for the rest of the 420 event. And we're going to go smoke. I'm ready to smoke now, so I got to go.